This podcast is sponsored by Kangen Water. Change your water. Change your life. Status. Hello, Peter.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem a little nervous.
Yeah, I just don't know what to expect. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm pretty anxious. I've never had a session.
Well, you called me, so what is it that you need help with today?
I don't know where to start. Everything
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just, the struggle is real, you know?
The struggle is real.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the millennials are using that phrase these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell me, what is so real about your struggle?
Well, it's getting to the point where I don't know where I'm going to get my money from. So every day is just, I wake up and I try to figure out how to get money for things.
Mm-hmm.
And budgeting that small amount of money that I get is stressful. I am in a new career. I'm trying to really do something with my life for the first time, which is kind of stressful. Just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's going on.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe in yourself?
For sure, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Wonderful. Believing in yourself is half the struggle.
Yeah.
Really, 3/4 of the struggle, I think.
It's hard. It's hard because, like any other comedian, you also hate yourself. You believe in yourself, but you hate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't stand yourself. You know?
I do. That's part of the reason why I do what I do, because I do agree with you, but I think you can be a comedian that loves yourself.
I hope.
Yeah.
One day, yeah, for sure.
Have you explored the things that you hate about yourself?
Explored, thought about it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So are you open to talking about those things?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open to talking about that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Are you okay with doing a couple exercises just to kind of get you relaxed and get your wall down?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Go ahead and lay back for me there.
Okay.
And you can put your feet up on the couch and relax, and don't mind Miss Abby over there.
Shout out, Abby.
She'll just chill.
It's nice.
And go ahead and relax your neck, close your eyes, and just begin to melt. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Are you currently sensing any anxiety or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in, try to fill that anxious space. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, then blow it all out, let it all go. Good. Let's do a few more of those. Wonderful. Keep going, my dear. Good. Are we feeling a little bit better?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to give you a tiger's eye.
Okay.
And I want you to hold this right over your ball sack. That is where your root chakra is. Go ahead and place both your hands over there. And you can rub the stone together. Good, good. Get it nice and warm.
Okay.
And just hold it right there, okay? Are you familiar with your chakras?
No.
All right. This is a safe place, okay?
Okay, all right.
So
I'm in.
your chakras, and they started in Hindu beliefs, right? Where we have different anchor points of our energy, right? We as beings are made up of energy, and we have different anchor points throughout our body. It starts at the very base, the base chakra, the sacral chakra, which is just above your sex organs.
Okay.
And then you have your solar plexus chakra, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown, right?
Cool.
So your base chakra really has to do with how you were raised and your sense of self and feeling rooted. When there's self-hatred, it's either coming from that area or the solar plexus, because that's also where your strongest sense of self. So you know what? Let's go ahead and double whammy this, and I'm going to go ahead and add another stone in, just in case we miss one.
Sounds good.
So I am going to give you...
I need all the help I can get.
This citrine here.
Okay, where does this go?
And you're gonna put that right in your rib cage, right in your diaphragm. Cool. Good. Okay. Now, I want you to go ahead and go back to your breathing. Close your eyes and relax. And as you're breathing, I want you to imagine the breath flowing in from your throat and circling through, back up, down to your balls, back up through your solar plexus, back to your throat, and just imagine that pattern there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Keep going, my dear. How are you feeling so far?
I feel good now. This is
Good,
nice. I might
good,
fall asleep.
good. That's how I want you to feel. Feel relaxed. So you can just keep your hands there. And as I begin to ask you questions, just keep that energy flowing, okay?
Okay.
So when I ask you, what is it that you hate about yourself? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Uh, what I hate, how disorganized I am, and how
Okay.
like undisciplined. I guess it's all discipline,
Disorganized, but you think that comes from
like
discipline.
a lack of.
Okay.
But
Did you
yeah.
have a good relationship with your father growing up?
Uh, yeah, he was there. It was weird.
What do you mean by weird?
uh, I don't know. It was just crazy. Um,
Define crazy.
it was just like a lot of adult things happening,
Mm-hmm.
in your life
Mm-hmm.
as a young child.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty intense.
What were some of these adult things? Drugs,
Yeah, yeah,
sex?
yeah, yeah. All
Mm-hmm.
the above.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. Yeah, it was fun, but it was also scary, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Were your parents together when you were growing up,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And so were both your parents like pretty adventurous and
Yeah, they were both pretty. They both liked to have a good time, and then
mm-hmm.
my mom got pretty religious when I got a little older.
And
Uh,
then she just ruined all the
all the
fun.
fun. She forgot how to
Mm-hmm.
party.
Mm-hmm.
Made her forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jesus knew how to throw a party, I
his
tell
first
you.
yeah his first
Mm-hmm.
miracle was turning water into wine. So
Mm-hmm.
I do like to
Mm-hmm.
party.
Okay, so you grew up around a very kind of party-like lifestyle.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you were what, a child and your parents were having parties kind of a
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
So
that.
I imagine there wasn't much discipline in that lifestyle, that home environment.
No, not
Hmm.
necessarily. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when like for example, when your mom did become more religious, was there more rules and structure at that point?
Oh yeah. It was crazy. One time, my mom had these honeycombs, and she got so militant that she put them in sandwich bags, and that's all we could get for the day. I'm just kidding. That did not happen. That did not happen. No, my mom. Yeah, there was. She was trying to, I think, make a little like our lives a little more stable. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why she like uh went towards that like lane, I guess, of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
going to church and all that.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
I get it.
respectable. Yeah.
I get it because it was pretty wild before that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, when she went all in, I was like 12, so I knew what it was. Like you can't tell me one thing when yesterday I saw a different thing. You know?
Mm-hmm. And then when things changed, what changed in the household for you aside, like for structure? Were there more rules in
There
place?
was I guess a little bit yeah, more rules, but it was just because I was the oldest. I went to go work with my dad a lot, so I would be
Mm-hmm.
with him, and he'd have a couple beers, and then I'd go with my mom to church or whatever. So it was hard to commit to either
Mm-hmm.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a kid and I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, like how as far as like how it affected me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just there, you're living life. You don't realize what life is until it's already happened.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was better. I think it's better that for sure it's better that she found God.
Yeah,
Because that's the lesser of the two evils. So
absolutely.
it was good, and there was definitely more structure, but it was still I was the oldest. So I could do kind of whatever I wanted to do.
So, going to work with your dad, going to church with your mom. So, do you ever blame your parents for this disorganized structure for
No,
yourself?
no, no way, dude. You can't
Mhm.
blame because people are the trauma that was inflicted on them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think the older you get, the more you realize your parents are just people.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
now that I'm an adult, like I just realized, like, oh, you guys are just people that had desires and wants and things that I have, just like me. You just had kids, like
Yes.
that's all
Mhm.
it was. Like you're just a person, dude. So you start to
Yeah,
realize that.
it's devastating when you first learn that your parents are not superheroes,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then once you come to that fact and that acknowledgement, then you're like, oh, or especially when you become a parent yourself, it's like you think
yeah.
that you have
I
to
can't
have
imagine.
this, you have to keep your personal life separate from your children, but really you should share those experiences with them because you're just a person too.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's great that you don't have any hostility towards your parents. Would you say that you have a good relationship with them now?
Um, Good as in like we don't hate each other, like,
Okay.
and I see them as often as I can, but um, I just don't want to be around them. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I have a normal parental relationship. I think anyone, like if you're too close with your parents, I think that's weird,
Okay.
personally.
Okay. And why is it that you don't want to be around them?
I just know like my mom will just stress me out, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like it just
Different vibrations
yeah,
going on.
exactly, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
and like no one knows how to push your buttons like your mom. You know what I'm saying? Your mom knows
That's true.
exactly what's gonna annoy you.
My mom definitely knows how
You
to
know,
push my buttons.
and you know how to push your daughters probably.
I do. I
Yeah,
do like it. I do enjoy
you
pushing her
know,
buttons sometimes. For humor purposes, not for trauma
torment.
purposes
Yeah,
though.
that young trauma. Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I think, it sounds for the listeners out there and viewers, it sounds like a horrible thing to say, like I don't want to be around my parents. And parents might take that in a wrong way, but you have to look at yourself as a spiritual being,
yeah,
right? We're all on different vibrations, we're all on different scales in our life. Some people are really angry, some people are content what's going on with their life. Some people are striving for more, and some people are on cloud nine.
yeah,
And if you're on cloud nine and you're around someone that's still dealing with their anger and their healing, they're going to bring you down right with them,
yep,
right?
yeah,
Even though you're sitting over there and I'm sitting over here, our auras are about 4 to 6 feet long surrounding us in diameter, right? So
cool.
right now, my aura is touching your aura,
Yeah,
right? So you could be feeling certain vibes from me and I could be feeling certain vibes from you. And for someone who is considered an empath, they feel those vibes so much around you. And you may be, everyone is in a sense, but some are stronger than others. And people that are
yeah.
stronger than others, they tend to be very anxious and depressed and they never want to leave their home because they're feeling all the energies around them as soon as they step out their
It is
door.
true. I do
Mm-hmm.
feel that because I feel like I might have some level of empathness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
say empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all you can feel people. I have this thing about people's eyes where I look at people's eyes and I can tell right away. Like like the rule is mirrors or windows, right? If you have
Mm-hmm.
windows and you let me look in, it's cool. It's cool. But if you have mirrors and there's times you look at people's eyes and all you see is mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, dude, I don't even want to talk to you, like, because I know it's not going to be sincere. There's going to be a lack of sincerity, a lack of honesty, and really, that's just a lack of respect to me as a human being. I honestly feel that way.
I totally 100% agree with you when it comes to the eyes.
Yeah,
And I'll share a couple experiences with you. I remember the first time, and I don't know if people, you don't know if people are seeing the same things as you. You can see
yeah,
things that other people can't see.
oh yeah.
My perception of green may be completely different than your perception of green, you know?
Yeah, this red couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I remember when I saw a particular individual and his eyes looked black to me, like completely black, as if like his pupils were completely dilated.
some fire drugs.
And and it was weird. I was kind of like drawn to it. I think, with yin and yang, like light is attracted to darkness,
Yeah,
darkness is attracted to light. And in this case, I've always considered myself a light and I was kind of attracted to this darkness, but I didn't know it was
yeah,
darkness. And I ended up becoming in a relationship with this man for a short amount of time. And within a matter of weeks, I was abused and robbed and raped.
yeah,
And it was like my intuition was telling me something. I
yeah,
was seeing it, but I was ignoring it,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
it happened again. Couple months later, not a romantic relationship, but a friendship. He was a
Yeah.
friend of someone that I was dating.
Yeah.
And I didn't like his eyes. And I knew,
Yeah.
I was listening to myself, don't engage.
That's right.
He has terrible eyes,
Yep.
bad juju. But
Yeah.
because he was close with a friend of mine, I tried to give him the benefit of a doubt,
Yeah.
tried to get to know him. And he was a con artist.
There you go.
He conned me and one of my other friends out of
Are
$3,000
you
each,
serious?
promising
Oh
us an
no.
apartment
Oh no.
that did not exist, right?
Dang.
So when you see those things, when
Yeah.
you're feeling those things, that is telling you something.
Oh yeah.
And we have to remember that sometimes separating ourselves does include family members, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, your family also knows the worst of you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's also hard to deal with, and you know the worst of them because you're family. And I think that's part of why a lot of families don't get along, is because you know the truth. There is no bullshit. There is no anything, because they know you. They saw you when you were throwing up from being too drunk at your grandma's funeral, or they saw, you know what I'm saying? Like, they see things that your friends don't see, or that other people that love you now don't know about you. You know, it's like it's a whole thing. They take all the junk that you have with you in your life, and they get to see you beginning to end, and they know the true you. And I think that's a lot of what that has a lot to do with the relationships people have with each other, is how much you know about someone.
Absolutely. I
You know?
completely agree. All right. So I do want to get back to that a little bit. Talking about vibrations and being around your family. We're going to come back to that in a
Cool.
little bit. Um, what else? So I asked you before we started,
Hmm.
or right when we started, the first thing that you thought of when I asked you, what do you hate about yourself? What else is there?
Um, I don't know. I just sometimes I overthink things that don't need to be overthunk.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I and you know, because you don't like yourself, you don't think others like you, when it's just all you tied up in your own head.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be translated, it can come out as like a almost like a social anxiety, you know, like you're worried about what you think people are thinking about you. You know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole weird way of interacting with people, is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're worried about rubbing someone the wrong way. And I know I can come off pretty intense, and I'm someone who, I just talk to everyone the same. So sometimes people can get put off by that, or they don't think I'm being sincere, because a lot of people aren't sincere nowadays, I feel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly, I know that all the issues that I have are in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really
Mm-hmm.
what it comes down to. It's you, it's not everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, my darling, you are definitely an empath for sure. Um, the overthinking, overanalyzing, that's such an empath thing. It
Yeah.
really is. And I've struggled with it for a long time. And I think I'm finally in a place where I have it under control, but there are
Yeah.
times where it does consume you.
Oh
It
yeah.
does consume you. You think about, we spend so much of our lives trying to impress other people. Like,
Yeah.
I want to wear this. Why are you wanting
For
to wear
what?
it?
Yeah.
Why are you wanting to wear this? Because you like it, or you think someone else is going to like it,
Well, now, like more than ever, right, with social media, that's just what everyone is trying to do, is get the
Mhm.
approval of everyone else.
Mhm.
It's just such a terrible way to live your life. I'm in there. I'm doing it too.
Mhm.
It's such a just you'll never be satisfied. It's
Mhm.
never gonna satisfy you. Even people who are famous aren't satisfied.
Mhm.
And you know, it's just kind of a sick web that we're weaving for ourselves. You know,
Yeah,
it really is. It
absolutely.
really is. And
Yeah.
honestly, like psychedelics opened me up. Is I remember the first time I did psychedelics, it kind of gave me, because when I was younger, I was a lot more angrier.
Mhm.
And I remember I was about to graduate high school, and I dosed,
Mhm.
and I remember it was the first time I felt empathy, and I understood that it was trauma. And you look at people's eyes, and you just like, whatever happened to you in your life, you're bringing that with you, and you're that person right now in front of me. So your father could have abused you, not even, you could have had a great life, but you know, your mom talked to you a certain way about food, or whatever trauma you might have, you're bringing it with you, and you're talking to me right now
Mhm.
with it,
Mhm.
and you're bringing that energy with you. So it gives you a level of empathy where you're like, oh, okay, dude, like you're talking through that trauma, through your experience. So you might be angry right now, or you might feel some type of way right now, or you might be doing something to bother me, but it's because the way you were raised and the trauma that you have. You might think
Mhm.
that you're more important, or you're not as important, so you have to overcompensate to let people know that you're important, or whatever it might be. But yeah, psychedelics. If you haven't done psychedelics, you probably should. But saved my life, really.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it's it's very interesting too to see in Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Hmm.
There's a lot. Psychedelics is making a comeback.
Oh, for sure.
Back in the days it was used for medical practices. It got banned, and now they're bringing it back. The government's starting to approve it in
Yeah.
clinical studies, and there's definitely something there that definitely needs to be looked at because people are taking the medications and they're saying this isn't enough, this isn't working, I need something else,
Yep.
right? And it does. It puts whatever issues you're having smack dead in your face.
Yeah. You don't have
You
a
have to deal
choice.
with it.
Yeah, but to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, there was another thought that I lost, but
Sorry.
no, it's fine. My brain just goes 1,000 miles per minute. But yeah, you mentioned when people do things and it bothers you.
Hmm.
Usually when you're seeing something are experiencing something with another individual that bothers you, it is a direct reflection of you.
Yeah.
Something about you that you don't like about yourself, or something about you that you didn't like about your past self,
Hmm.
right? So it's important when, you're having an interaction with someone and you're like, God damn, I just can't stand this person. I want to
Yeah.
poke their eyeballs out, right?
Uh-huh.
To kind of just stop and think, embrace the moment, find out what it is about them that you don't like and why,
Yeah.
and then find something about them that you do like, right?
Yeah.
That is a deep, deep soul searching moment right
Hmm.
there, opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but again, perfect time to protect yourself and your own energy. There's a balance,
Also an opportunity for growth,
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. Um, so another question I want to ask you, going back to your disorganization,
Mm.
typical comedian,
Yeah.
how do you try to stay organized now?
I really am trying. So now I have like a full blown calendar at my
Mm-hmm.
house where it's
Mm-hmm.
like all of my gigs, all the things that I need to do are right there. So whenever someone asks to book me, I'm always like, let me go check my calendar when I get home.
And
Um,
this is like something that you write on a physical
yep,
calendar.
physical calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a list. So every morning I've been trying this whole like not a ritual but like a routine where I'll
Mm-hmm.
do like meditation, journaling, affirmations,
That's music to my ears.
gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
and and then like exercise, with exercise, and it actually has helped. So now on that, when I do journaling at the end, I'll put like goals for the day, like of things I want to complete or whatever it might be, and then there's like a little visioning that you do, and it's not always like this is what I want to become. I don't want to become a comedian. It's like, okay, I have a show on Friday. What do I want to do at that show? I want to kill. How am I going to kill? I'm going to walk up. How am I going to walk up? And just vision it all the way back to
Mm-hmm.
right then and there. What are you going to do to get to that point? And
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole
Very
thing.
specific
Yeah,
goals. That's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Hmm. How long have you been doing that?
Consistently for like 2 weeks.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And also one of the things like reading. So you're supposed to do everything for an equal amount of time. So it's like either 5 minutes each, 4 minutes each, whatever you can choose, whatever you can afford to do.
And you do this all before you leave for the day.
The first thing I do. I don't even wash my face, nothing. I get up and I go right at the counter
Wonderful. I
or
love
meditate.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. Honestly, I don't think you really need any advice from me because you're already doing it. I think it's just a matter of being consistent with it
That's all, and that's the discipline
and keep
part
doing
is
it.
like to
Mm-hmm.
tell yourself that it's worth doing because it's an investment into yourself and all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you got to go through to get yourself to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe having some reminders,
Hmm.
whether like I like to do, I use my phone as my alarm
Yeah.
clock, and I actually have a bird chime for my alarm clock because the thing about alarm clocks is if you look up the word alarm, it's like a notification of danger. Like it's
Yeah, to be
alarming,
alarmed.
right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be alarmed.
Uh-huh.
And we don't want to wake up spiking our cortisol first thing in the morning,
That's
right?
true.
So I am a big advocate for waking up to a more natural sound. And it might take you a little bit longer to wake up if you decide to wake up to the sound of rain or
Yeah.
spa music or something. So
Smart.
you set your timer a little bit early, right?
Yeah.
But waking up to a natural sound or music, right? It gets that vibration going. So I like to do birds
It's
or
interesting.
rain.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
like if you wake up that way, you're also waking up in a more organic
Mm-hmm.
style. Like my grandma on my dad's side, she's from Mexico, and she believed that when you dreamed, you float above yourself,
Yeah, astral
and you
projection.
would connect, I guess, through your belly button. She always said through your belly button. There's like something that would connect to it, and when you wake up, it's basically your spirit is coming back into your body.
Mm-hmm.
And she would say if you woke up with like neck pain, like you sleep wrong, she'd say go back to sleep for 10 minutes and it'll go away
Mm-hmm.
because it'll like give your spirit a chance like go back out and come back in and set itself the right way. I don't know how real that is, but
It
it's
sounds pretty
it's pretty
legit.
cool. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool and
Mm-hmm.
like it makes sense now, especially with what you bring up.
Well, and when you think about it, sometimes when you wake up alarmed, you're trying to figure out where you are.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
takes you a sec, especially when you stay somewhere
and it's
else.
so abrupt.
Yeah.
It's so just like jolts you out
And
of
it
your sleep.
takes you like a minute to kind
Yeah,
of get there, you
I
know?
should try that.
But yeah, music. On my phone, I'll have a like you can name your alarms, and I'll put meditate.
Yeah,
As soon as I wake up, affirmations or
like
whatever.
a
Give yourself a
reminder.
reminder
Mm-hmm.
to do those things. I also have a mantra book, and I leave it open so when I wake up, I see one of the mantras, and it's like getting
Oh,
ready for the day.
cool.
Gives you a reason to get ready for the day. I have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot I get to do.
Yeah,
A lot of people will say I have to do
that's right.
this, and it's not you have to, it's you get
For
to.
sure, for sure. It all
Because
comes from gratitude, a place of
exactly,
gratitude.
you get to. You're lucky you woke up today. You get to do this
That's right.
because you woke up
That's right.
today. So I think you're on such a great track there,
Thank you.
and just keep doing it. Maybe those little tidbits, little post-its or whatever, just
Yeah.
to remind you to stay on track, and
Yep.
just remember that it is working, and I will want you to keep going as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about vibrations and learning how to deal with being an empath, because I think when you don't know you're one, you struggle with it. And I think that's
Yeah.
where most of my depression came as a child.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a very quiet child. I didn't like to talk to too many people because I was feeling everything,
Yep.
and I still do sometimes. There are
Oh
some
yeah.
days where I'm really good and I want to go out and engage. And then there are times where I just don't want to deal with anyone, especially when you're emotionally drained, your energy's drained as well.
Yeah.
And depending on being a comedian, you're always socializing, you're expending your energy out everywhere. You're promoting yourself, you're being funny, you're getting people to like
On. You
you,
have to be
you're
on.
on,
Yeah.
on. So one thing that I think that you can start to practice, and maybe this could be part of your morning routine
Uh-huh.
or before you go to a show, is take a moment, maybe get into a meditative state, or just make the affirmation that you're going to use your energy source from the divine, your higher self, your God, whatever it is that you believe in. You're going to call on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just using your own, and it's going to give you more energy, right? Exponential amount of energy, so you're not draining yourself. And then the second thing is when you're going into a situation where you feel like, I don't know if I want to be around that energy right now, especially like when you're around your family members or
Yeah.
whatever, tell yourself, I choose to feel my energy only and my energy alone. Create that shield.
Like a barrier. Okay.
You're creating a barrier,
Cool.
right? I do not want anyone's energy. I do not want to absorb any energy.
Yeah.
Just you're choosing yours alone. You have to set that intention.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've actually learned quite recently that's been helping me quite a bit, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
if you feel that breaking, just set that tone again,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, recenter or whatever. Yeah.
And I think that will help you um, be able to have more opportunities to build a better relationship with your family too,
Yeah.
because I think going through, like, it sounds like you're in a good place and you're really understanding and
Oh
you
yeah.
get it. But there might still be a little bit of healing that needs to happen there. And
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
that comes with bonding and reconnecting, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And forgiveness. You just gotta like just
hmm
learn to understand that people are people and they're gonna make mistakes, and the reason they make those mistakes is because of trauma and all these things that they're bringing with them.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
It's not their
Totally.
fault. Well, it is their fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing everything right. You really are. You're definitely
I,
on the
I
right track.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So I'm glad that you came in.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, I think I need therapy, but sometimes you just need confirmation
Yeah.
that you're on the right path.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah, it is interesting because sometimes I'll like like with a coworker or like with a friend, you're just share a story and they're like, "Whoa, dude, you should go to therapy." I'm like, "What?" Because I think there's levels of craziness that people endure.
Mm-hmm.
So like what some people might think is crazy to other people is just their life.
Yeah.
So it's like if that's just your life, do you need to go? I don't know. Do you need to
Yeah.
therapy? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, sure, your childhood was a little crazy. You probably like accidentally snorted some blow or licked it and put it on your lips or some shit, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Accidentally, yeah.
Accidentally. But then there are other people that have had a completely normal, healthy childhood, but had a parent and had parents that never hugged them, never told
Yeah,
them that they loved them, you
yeah,
know?
for sure.
So there are so many different forms of trauma.
Hmm.
But I definitely think that by you doing what you're doing and really focusing on protecting your energy and being more aware of your energy and the energy around you
Yeah,
and doing the meditation, doing the affirmations, by you healing yourself, you can heal others. You can break a generational pattern that's been tearing down your mom, your dad, your grandparents,
yeah.
right? By healing yourself, you're also healing the people that you love and the people that are connected to you.
That's cool. I never looked at it that way. I
Yeah.
really did not look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. So just keep working on yourself.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you want to talk about today?
I don't know. Like I said, I've never ever been to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know what to expect. Um, so there's like nothing that comes to mind.
All right. And that's
Yeah.
perfectly okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if something comes up in a couple weeks and you want to come by the office again, I'd love to have you.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Well, before we go, to all of our viewers and listeners, how can they get in touch with you?
Um, on Instagram, you can find me at Fresh Horseradish. That's spelled the way it's spelled. I also run a vintage resale store. It's called Loop Vintage Phoenix. You can really items that I've curated through Goodwills, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets. Anything you like, just let me know, and we can work out a deal.
Wonderful. Why horseradish?
I don't know. I just I made the handle up once, fresh horseradish, and it just sounds weird.
Do
And
you like horseradish?
no,
No.
I don't think I can't. I think I've had it like in a dish, and it's not like something that jumps out at me. I've had it in a dip, and I remember it made like the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like cleared my nose.
Oh yeah. You know, I did quite a bit of cocaine back in the
Uh
80s, and like fresh
huh.
horseradish just brings me
Yeah.
right back to those moments and those memories. It's kind of
Good
like a
times.
guilty pleasure of mine. Hmm. So, yes, I like the fresh horseradish. Wonderful. And how can people see your comedy shows?
Please, I'll be posting. I keep it updated on Instagram. I'll be at Bird City Comedy Festival here in Phoenix, March, and there's also a Tempe Improv show in March called Sundays Are Tight, and a previous client of yours, Bubba McComb, hosts that at the Tempe Improv. I'll be there as well. So pull up.
Yes. There's no client confidentiality here. That's how he knows my client list. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
You're just
thank
such a
you.
bright young man, and you're on the right track.
Thank you
You
so
are.
much.
So believe in yourself a little bit more.
Thank you.
And to all my guests out there, thank you so much for listening today. And if you want to get in touch with Peter and you forgot all those links already, feel free to go to my website at www.lifecoachingcomedians.com. And don't forget that on Thursdays, we do therapy. Namaste.
It was great. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my balls having energy, which is nice. Learned about parent relationships and what I can do to either go over it or what to go over. I will be back. I think I should come back, not for the sake of myself, but for the sake of others. I think it'd be really beneficial.
Yeah, yeah, you know, it feels really good, you know, to get a client that isn't really a client, you know, makes my day go by a lot easier. Peter Jordan definitely has his shit together. He just needs a little bit more confidence and believing in himself. He definitely he's got it going on. I wish man, I mean, Bubba could really take some notes from that guy.